If you think for a minute that EA is honestly going to say that this game is completely free, no paid progression, nothing like that at all, right? No loot boxes, no nothing, you'd be an idiot. Because that's not how EA rolls, and we can talk a little bit about that in a second. But here, this is just funny to me how like the developers here, I believe they Full Circle is what they're called, that's working with EA. Full Circle's working on this new Skate 4 game, which is now actually just called Skates. So I'm like, why is that? Skate was originally on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I believe the second and third one, because I think there were three total, and those were on those consoles. It was for that generation. And for years, so many people wanted to see this franchise come back. They wanted to see it come back in a really great way because they just loved it. And it's like, hey, that's cool. You like this franchise. That's awesome. I never personally played it myself, but I think there was a demo long time ago I played on PS3. It was so long ago, but that was the only experience that I had with it. And for me personally, the only skateboarding games that I ever played way back in the day was like the Tony Hawk games, where I played the original back on PlayStation 1. Number 2, I played on Dreamcast. Number 3, I played on the GameCube. I played Downhill Jam on the Wii. That wasn't too bad. And then I played just a little bit of Underground. And I also played, was it Tony Hawk's 2X back on the OG Xbox. It was that version. And so they were pretty cool Tony Hawk games, from the early days. Not really sure about how I feel about the new ones today, but that's besides the point. So here, this article comes from Games Radar, and this is where we basically got the announcement that Skate 4 is going to be a free-to-play, but they're just calling it Skate. It's going to be launching free-to-play across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox platforms, and there's going to be cross-play and cross-progression. And it's going to be for the older gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, and then PS5, Xbox Series X consoles, along with, again, PC. So that's kind of cool that there is cross-play, and then the progression is the same as well, no matter what console you play on. So that's, if anything, that's probably the only positive about this whole article, in my opinion. But let's continue on here for a sec. That's right here. It says they will. There's not going to be areas that are locked behind a paywall. There's going to be no paid loot boxes, and there's going to be no paid gameplay advantages, which I call bullshit. So let's continue on. There's one more part down here. The devs also insist that this is not Skate 4. It's not a direct sequel, nor is it a remake or a remaster or anything like that. There's no plans for a standalone sequel, and the studio is planning to basically update this game. There's going to be updates going into this game as it continues to evolve. So that right there, even though they had just said right up here that there's going to be no pay-to-win bullshit, there's going to be continuous updates. You're telling me that this is going to be a straight up free to play. It's going to be easy to unlock everything normally. There's going to be no paid DLC, nothing like that. Again, this is EA we're talking about here. Let's just kind of think back to a lot of the games that EA has put out over the years, what they've really relied on in terms of their revenue. Where does all their revenue come from? Paid DLCs, paid loot boxes, and microtransactions. Everything that they make, all their money comes from that. Look at the Madden franchise, the FIFA license, which I believe they lost the FIFA license. I remember hearing about that a while back. And then there was games like the Star Wars Battlefront, the Battlefield. I'm sure they put stuff in there too. I don't know. I don't play Battlefield. But I remember when Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 came out, that game had a lot of different microtransactions in there, especially the second one, if I remember. And it was, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but the numbers for how many hours that you would have to play to unlock a decent amount of stuff was just like an insane amount. That's like every game that I have ever played combined to get up to those amounts of hours. That's what we're talking here. And it was just crazy to see that at the time, that like, really? Because they knew that nobody was going to put that many hours. How could anybody put that many hours? It was like thousands of hours or something ridiculous like that. So they're like, yeah, we got this, you could just give us a little more money over here. You just, give us a little more money over here. You can get all this cool shit over here. Just give us a little more money. That's how they do it. I can only think of a couple games in the past where DLC was actually a pretty good decision for some of their games, like Dead Space 2, where we got severed, where Dead Space 3, where we got an additional part of the story after the main game. That was really cool. And although the end of that really pissed me off, because it's like you just knew that there was going to be a Dead Space 4. We could feel it. It was coming. But then what happened to Visceral Games? Not even going to get into that. And then I remember there was a little bit of DLC for the original Mirror's Edge. I remember I got that. It was back on the PS3. And, you just play some stages, random stages. It gets progressively harder, obviously, a little more challenging. But that was pretty cool back then. But nowadays, fast forward to now, and I'm telling you, man, that's just what they rely on. That's what their business is all about, is just plugging in whatever they could sell, little cosmetics for certain things, whether it be clothing or some kind of I don't know, like in the case of the Skate game, like that they're going to put a crap load of like cool design decks into that game, right? There's going to be tons of decks for you to buy, probably like $1 or something a piece. The shoes that you want to get, the clothing, pants, shirts, hats, whatever. There's going to be so much of that. Like, and if they do have a little bit of progression, there's not going to be very much. I don't think they're going to do it the same way they did with Star Wars, but there's not going to be a whole lot. So that's why they say here in this part of the article, where we're going to continually update things. We're going to continually evolve this. That's code for them basically saying, yeah, we're going to add more stuff for you to purchase if you want this. If you want to earn it, yeah, you got to put a little bit of time in. Again, probably not anything crazy like Battlefront 2, but here I can already see it. And I already see behind their bullshit. I don't believe anything that they say about this game is true. And the only positive that I can walk away from with this is the cross-play and the cross-progression. That's the only cool part about this. Everything else, I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all. And honestly, that's just my opinion on it. If you have a different opinion on this, if you think that they're actually going to make good on their promise here and actually continue to update this in a meaningful way, let me know. Or maybe you agree with me and we can all see behind their bullshit. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.